Sorry guys, no stream today, I'm feeling really terrible. We'll stream tomorrow, but we have ourselves an NHL trade that just went down. It's Nick Bjugstad, Pittsburgh Penguins center, being traded from Pittsburgh to the Minnesota Wild with salary retained in exchange for this, a conditional 7th round pick. Nick Bjugstad is a guy coming into the last season of his contract, making $4.1 million per year, and he's a guy who the Pittsburgh Penguins really did not get too much value out of when they acquired him in the same Jared McCann trade from the Florida Panthers a bit over a year ago. In fact, there's also salary retained, so it means that the Pittsburgh Penguins really just wanted to get rid of this guy. And for the most part, a move like this isn't really all too difficult to understand, I would say. There were already so many rumors that the Pittsburgh Penguins wanted to move out guys who did end up costing a little bit of money on their payroll. They just ended up trading for Kasperi Kapanen, which is a forward spot replacement on their team, and Nick Bjugstad is a guy who, although was pretty good with the Florida Panthers, was never all too great when he stepped in to Pittsburgh. In fact, the conditional 7th round pick here depends on how many games Bjugstad will play with the Wild next season. And for the Minnesota Wild, what they're really doing here is making the ultimate low-risk, high-reward kind of move. Because, come on, it's a 7th round pick, and you're trading for a guy that's got salary retained. Nick Bjugstad is a center who just 2 seasons ago put up 49 points in 82 games. So if you get yourselves what hopefully would be the best version of this guy, what you're getting is a legitimate 30, maybe even 40-point producer to replace that Mikko Koivu, whose presence is being left up in the lineup because he's probably going to retire. So ultimately though, if I'm going to have to pick a winner of this trade, I would honestly say that Minnesota won, but just by default, because obviously if you take a look at it at face value, a player who can indeed play in the NHL and who did just get 49 points 2 years ago, that is technically a lot more valuable than a 7th round pick that's conditional and depends on the amount of games the guy ends up playing. But for the Pittsburgh Penguins, this does indeed free up another lineup spot in their roster, and, you know, $4.1 million, it's not insignificant for sure. So even though you are keeping that on for the next season, there is some room to be able to sit back and say, okay, there is indeed some value in getting that money off the books. But for the Minnesota fans checking out this video over here, Nick Bjugstad is a big 6'6", 215-pound center from Minnesota. He played at the University of Minnesota, and now he is going back to Minnesota. Minnesota making a pitch for all of the Minnesota guys. You know that Brock Besser's probably going to be next. But Nick Bjugstad has always been touted as a very reliable two-way center, a guy who could contribute maybe upwards of 15 to 20 goals a season while also playing some pretty big minutes on your penalty kill and doing all of the little things right. He's a guy who really, you have to have these kind of guys on your team to win, but if Minnesota is looking for this guy to become a #1 center, then, man, I don't really know how realistic that's going to be. One thing's for sure, though, this may indeed just be a replacement for Alex Galchenyuk, who may not even be with your team next year. But if you're a fan of the Wild, talk to me what you think about this trade. Also, if you're a fan of the Pens, too, I'd love to hear it. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's Rolls 99, and bye.